So you're hoping things will pick up by Q what? 49?
Q3. Yep.
It's RIPD, baby.
Never settle with Power E-Trade. It has easy-to-use tools and some of the lowest prices. Get E-Trade and start trading today.
What are you doing for now?
Interesting take here on ways into
Look
this
for
big
power
theme, which at times has
electronics
really
and
dominated parts of the
EVs.
market with the pure
Firsthand
OEMs, the automakers,
funds,
Tesla,
Kevin
related
Landis.
companies. But
I kind of
talk
always like
about,
to imagine
what
like they
you
can hear
like
me in the
in this
background from
general,
here, like I play it
ecosystem
on.
here.
Who knows?
Sure. Well,
Who knows?
at
Heisenberg.
firsthand,
Who
I
the
think we
hell
have
knows?
more than our fair share of old chip heads. And so we're always looking for the less obvious
The
play
power
on something,
indexes
and
are
take it apart and look
obviously
at
to the hand.
components. Sometimes that's the way to get
That's just
there.
the no. I mean, you're
You
going
know,
to
the
get
late
to
90s, you
whoever
make
the
more
power
money off
players are. We're
chip
going to get
IC,
Tesla,
communications
maybe
IC stocks than you could off of
Volkswagen
a
playing
Cisco,
big
for example.
here, General
So how do you
Motors,
play
some
that
other
with an
names
EV?
that'd be the big
Look for
howlers out
power
back.
electronics.
And
Power
there to
electronics
be on those
demands
kind of
in
systems
an
to
electric
keep
vehicle
pulling down
are
gravity
daunting.
in that
You take a
direction
lot
instead
of
of
power
the
out of a very
inflation
limited
of a
amount of
spread
batteries.
market
And
against
that
those
favors
standards, or
some
who your team
kind
would
of
be using
exotic
inside of that,
technologies,
because
and
it
our favorite
generates
there
more
is
mass,
silicon
but you would still
carbide,
have to run the
and our
pyramid
favorite
scheme
plays
for
there
the
are
Minimax and
STMicro,
Hedge games
onsemi, and Wolfspeed.
inside the main standards out
Yeah,
there
ST
for a
Micro
lot of
and,
those
you know, onsemi and the others that
Ingles,
you've mentioned here. Obviously, they
gals.
have had,
Alright,
you know,
little
a
bit.
pretty good run for a while. Maybe not. But it just seems as
Well,
if it's not
again, I
necessarily
mean, when I
undiscovered,
come
but
in
you
there, I'm going to
actually
be like,
think
well,
that,
because you didn't do that,
obviously
I'm going to
there's
hit
gonna
you
be a
hard
longer
about
life,
your insurance
to
numbers
the,
of
to
paying
these
out and
trends.
doing that and not
Right,
utilizing their
STMicro's
lamp
got a
that they
market
give you
cap,
as
I
far
think,
as the equipment
47,
metrics.
48 billion. At the other end of the spectrum, Wolfspeed's got a market cap of about 12 billion.
Well, what do? You got an
The reason
officer,
we
some
like
Jody. They
Wolfspeed
go,
better
no
than the
offense to
other two
Jody,
is
we're
it's
going to use
really a
her
pure
at
play
Alice
on
here.
silicon
She's going to
carbide.
go down the
The
rabbit
others have
hole and
great
sell
automotive
those
exposure,
stonemasons a
great power
bunch of health
electronics
insurance that we
exposure.
cover
They're
for
less of a
their
pure play
indexes
on that.
based on their blind, crippling, and
Wolfspeed, by the
crazy
way,
from working in the
had
mill
a
or some
monster
log or
year
whatever.
last year. It
Up
went
off
from
of the
less than
Mikowski
50
and space
to,
line, whatever you
let's say,
guys consider
140,
the under, or what
$140.
generally those moo
This year
cows
it's
can
been
run
more
inside of there
flattish.
based on the
So
square weight
I
without
think
getting
there's
mowed
plenty of
down
room
by the
for it
thresher.
to have a really big year next year. And we
Kevin, what is silicon carbide?
so
We don't know.
If you go back
There's
to your
new
chemistry,
metrics.
high school chemistry, silicon has 4 valence electrons. So does carbon.
Clearly not my best.
Well, so you know, it's an exotic material. Here's what you really need to know.
Well, again, you know,
If you
because
could do
those are my
something in
metrics
pure
don't mean that
silicon,
I'm not
you do it
running
there
an
because
outside
it's really
bandwidth
cheap,
of
it's
a
really well
margin,
understood, there's all
because
this infrastructure
the
built up.
Electron and the
But there are
45
times
space to
when
the
you just
Hubbles,
can't
or excuse me,
use
to the
silicon. It's just
Penzros
not the
on
right
that,
material.
actually have
It has to do
gravitational
with
wave
quantum
metrics that
physics
give
and
you
band
that
gaps
gear
and
force
certain voltage
triangulation
levels.
on any
What this
ASVAP
really
is
means
a
is
piece
if
of
you make your
machinery on
power
its cycles,
electronics out of silicon
overclocking
carbide,
it,
it's
underclocking
more
it,
efficient,
watching
it
where its
drains your
last
battery more
service rating
slowly,
is,
it means
trying to
your
pin
EV
it
has
on
greater
the
range.
the
That's all you really
the
need
the
to care
proper
about.
moment.
Silicon
And
carbide
it's
equals
again,
greater
you know,
range
do you
on your
pull
EV,
out and
and that's
grind
going
and
to be one of the
chisel
big
because
features
it's got a
as everyone
mushroom
gets into
on
this
it,
market.
or do you wait until the lunch
Kevin,
break?
you
Now,
mentioned that,
obviously,
you
there
know,
was
as a
somebody
firm,
in there
of
should have
course,
known
you
before I
have
clocked in
ample
first set in the
exposure
morning.
to, you know, lots of different areas of technology that are more familiar. But your emphasis on these areas, does it suggest at all that you think some things are played out or they're fully valued, whether it's
Again, if they go
social
grabbing
media
mine and
or,
it chips
you know,
off on
traditional
them about
semis or
not
any of
having
the
their
other
own bar
areas
that
that
I
you may
bought
have
and
been,
why it went walking
you know,
away
playing
on
more
me,
as a core holding?
whole different
Well,
animals.
you know, our intellectual Achilles heel is getting out too early. So, I mean, we got out of the FANG stocks probably 2 years
Stand
ago.
back.
So, oops.
Got it right on board tonight.
And that's not to say that these other popular trends don't have a lot of steam left in them. I'm sure
Well,
they do.
again, because of which
But
one of
we
these
just
are
figure
called,
that,
you're
you
gonna
need to hire
even the
us as money
organization is
managers
like,
to
well,
go
do you
out and
call
buy
Tesla
Facebook
first or
and Google
Amazon
or
first?
Amazon
Home
and all
Depot
those
and your
names you
your
already
boat
know.
and how the motors
So we just
arranged in your Bass
try to get
Pro
in and dig
gear
and
for
find something that's a little less obvious.
getting out there with the general and catching some bacon.
Josh, where are you on the trade of 2022 of silicon carbide, or just broader EV
wanted to
trends
ask-
this year in general?
Silicon carbide.
Yeah, I'm
Silicon
loaded up with
carbide.
silicon carbide, but I took physical delivery, so I'm not in the equity, I'm in the commodity. Hey, Kev, have you
In
ever
terms of
taken a look at the
conductivity,
chart,
does it
at the
beat the
charging,
index to why you would use
equipment
it
companies?
instead of the
I
old
own a little
gold
bit of
chip
this thing, ChargePoint,
recycling
CHP.
system and
I don't know that
flake
much about
for
it, quite
acid
frankly,
solution?
but I looked at
Is it any
EVgo,
better for where we're
EVgo,
sending
I
it in
looked
terms
at,
of the
Volta.
longevity of the
What-
crib
Is there
death?
money to be made there? What do you think?
there was a trade in there because they thought buyback better was going to.
Well, there are certain sets where it's like, do I pay the hand to the copper mine because it's in hand, or do I try to do the recycling set index, or where else in the world was the treasure buried based on pressure gauges under the ocean levels that you couldn't hit to make the turn, or under dirt to make the overburden problem in some of the sets for it? Well, if you did it efficiently, you'd have to chisel that down in some pit mine that did some overset, and then still have to do something reasonably, fill it up with water to let it freshwater dam, and try not to poison it with all the diesel from the cats along with the hydraulics.
We're hoping things will pick up by
But that would
Q3.
generally say, if I still put fish in there, like out in Chernobyl, are they still gonna grow? Dreaming Way gonna smash a bunch of
Never settle with
25-inch
Power
walleye
E-Trade.
out
It
there?
has easy-to-use
I mean,
tools
yeah,
and
the
some of the
catfish
lowest
might be a little
prices.
messed up when you're out
Get
there in
E-Trade.
anthropology
Start
taking
trading
up some
today.
Matabrachiosauruses, but that's how we dance out here in Delport.